Hello friends and family from around the world, this is Mike with Morning Dew Daily Events Worldwide, and we are on April 15th, 2021. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet, and welcome to the Daily Dew, where we look at space weather, world weather, and anything else affecting humanity. Looking here at the last 48 hours on the sun, large plasma filament erecting from the left side there. Looking at the last 48 hours incoming images, you can see that big plasma tornado stretch right up off the sun there. In the last few images, we'll see what it does after this. Looking at outgoing images, we do have an Earth-facing sunspot, but not very active. We also have an Earth-facing coronal hole, and you can see the whole southern side now. We did have some action on the backside, so it is lit up and it is incoming. I imagine the backside of the sun is kind of going through a frenzy right now. Looking at last 48 hours at multi-spectrum here, you can see all of the activity. Deep plasma there lifting away from the sun. Looking here, you can see the coronal hole, small coronal hole above the sunspot diminishing. But the southern region coronal hole is pretty big and trying to stretch towards the equator, and it is Earth facing right now. We did have some geomagnetic activity overnight, up to a KP of 5 and 6 reported here. Planetary K index of 6, real-time solar wind. We are steady at about 374 kilometers per second, and seeing a spike and a rise here in the temperatures. A little flip-flop on the phi angle. And just see how that looks on our magnetosphere. You can see that little burst of strong energy coming. Looking here at the Schumann resonance for today, we are at a power of 10, which is really good. You can see the green on each of these bars, quality of 13.7 and an amplitude power of 10. So yes, it was a vibrant day, and much love to you all for all tuning in. Some good vibes on the streets today. Looking here at the most recent earthquakes to report, starting here, 5.1 in Mariana Islands region. Seeing some we've seen quite a few earthquakes here in the region recently, the deepest trench on the planet. 5.4 here to report Indonesia. As well, the deep earthquakes today. Yesterday there was a 605 kilometer depth, but today they beat it. 616 kilometer depth here, 4.2, and as well a 4.1 here to report Wallace in Futuna, 400 and so kilometer depth there. As well, northern Japan seeing a 4.3 Matsu. As well, Alaska, Attu Station, 5.3, and we're seeing the increased activity here as well. A lot of small earthquakes through Alaska and the Aleutians. And as well, California today, not too much to report along the coast, but Stonepipe Wells, California, as well Benton, California, the geysers, and Petrolia. So those are our regular earthquake suspects. And then we did have a small 2.7 after the 4.3 in Skellytown, Texas. And we're seeing increased activity across into Louisiana, believe it or not, as well. There's a 2.5 here reported, but there was just another one, a 3.0 reported there. So definitely the New Madrid is waking up. Looking here into central regions of Mexico, 4.6. And as well a 4.3 to report, both 10 kilometer depth. And through the Caribbean here, Mona Passage, a 3.2, 69 kilometer depth, and that's not your regular earthquake for the region. As well into South America here, Peru with a 4.4 to report, and as well a 4.9. So starting to see the increased activity through central regions of Americas. Nothing major to report in Hawaii. Overlooking Europe, 4.4 here in Kolona, Greece, and as well a 4.4 to report in Iceland. And there are reports of another volcano possibly erupting. So they're monitoring crazy situation in Iceland. 4.6 to report here in India as well. 4.6 in Turt, Mongolia. So there's the last 24 hours for earthquakes across the planet. We're looking at about 275 earthquakes to report, 2.0 and greater. Looking at the last 7 days for earthquakes, you can see the increased activity, all the latest white rings through central region of Americas and as well North American plate. But still quiet through the Wantafuka and through Russia. Increased activity through the deepest trench on the planet, Marianas. And as well increased activity into the Indian plate and through China. And as well pretty quiet through the Atlantic plate and Antarctica. Definitely going to be watching through North America here. Wantafuka into the Cascades. World weather and as well a volcano update from Pacific Disaster Center. Most recent volcanoes getting updated today are Semisnapochnoi in the United States, the Aleutian Islands, Dakono, Indonesia, Fuego, Guatemala, Sufri, as well Sabancaya, Pacaya. Many floods and storm alerts here. Ebico in Russia. Luwatolo, Indonesia. Popo in Mexico. Era in Japan. Semeru, Indonesia. Sinabung, Indonesia. And as well Cadavor. So that's about 15 volcanoes being updated on the 15th of April. And we still have 41 active and erupting volcanoes across the planet. Looking at an interesting transition into spring here across the planet as it's trying, and we do have one tropical typhoon to talk about, Typhoon Sergei, who now is only projected to be a tropical typhoon category 3. They're saying here for this forecast, but anything can happen. We could see an increased space weather event, which can oftentimes increase the speed of typhoons and hurricanes. It is known. So we're going to be keeping an eye on it as it travels very close to the islands of the Philippines in the coming days. I'll show you here on the 5-day forecast the exact day of possible landfall. We're going to start out here overlooking home base, Calgary, Alberta, as yes, it is beautiful outside here in Alberta, parts of southern Alberta anyway, and it's going to change quickly. As reported in yesterday's video, not much has changed for the forecast, but wow, watch this, folks. So up to probably 18 or 19 on Saturday, but then this strong high pressure ridge comes from Alaska. Very strong, and there are cold temperatures coming in behind it, so we're going to have some strong northeasterlies, and it's going to be -4 degrees after this goes by. But then watch as this high pressure ridge travels southward into the United States over Colorado, bringing snow across at least 4, maybe even 7 states. Cold temperatures. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. Big transition. Where did this come from? But these are some really cold temperatures. We're looking at possible -17 higher elevations in some areas. That's Celsius. But yeah, this high pressure ridge is going to pack a punch as it enters into the tropical moisture. Big intertropical convergence happening right now. Blowing my mind. Things drying out across eastern Canada except for Atlantic Canada and as well the United States. Low pressure system there affecting Newfoundland. But yeah, warming up and then boom, cold temperatures behind it. Huge high pressure ridge keeping things dry along the coastline of BC and the United States. Down in South America here, watch for heavy rains through Panama And coastal regions here is southern Mexico, central Mexico. No major weather systems affecting South America, except for Argentina, not Sargentina. Argentina, you do have a pretty vigorous system heading your way. And just look at the beast of a storm that is spinning in the southern hemisphere. My lord, these systems are getting huge. Overlooking Africa, no major weather systems affecting you either. Cooler temperatures still the thing to talk about here in parts of South Africa. Strong high pressure ridge coming from who knows where, and then creating quite a low pressure system in between the high pressure ridge there. Cooler temperatures across North Africa. No major heat event to talk about. Overlooking Europe, that low pressure system is trapped down there, high pressure from the south and the north, but it looks like it's going to gain some strength and some moisture heading through the Mediterranean and then up into Russia, eastern parts of Europe. But yeah, high pressure ridge still dominant over the UK and parts of Eastern Europe. Winter is still affecting most of Russia, parts of northern China. And speaking of China, they do have quite a bit of rain heading to them in the next little while. Monsoon rain season is upon us and them, so thoughts and prayers going out to everybody affected by the floods in China already. And then we do have Typhoon Surigay to talk about. And here we're looking at the 5-day forecast, and it looks like it will make landfall Sunday into Monday and then stall a little bit there on Monday. And again, stay tuned to Morning Dew. These forecasts can change overnight. Overlooking Australia, high pressure ridge still pretty dominant across the region. Cool temperatures. Little system there moving out on the east coast there through Brisbane. But yeah, cool temperatures and a little bit of rain moving into northeastern parts. No major weather systems. Overlooking New Zealand, a little bit of rain will be moving away by Sunday, and then you're going to have about a day of dry air before the next system comes in. Overlooking Hawaii, no major weather systems affecting you, but very interesting low pressure systems joining forces, getting stronger, getting bigger across the northern hemisphere, across the southern hemisphere. Please stay tuned to Morning Dew as all of these events are unfolding before our eyes. And I've been talking about them for 4 years. Thanks for watching today. Leave you here looking at the major systems affecting us in the next little while, and as well as southern hemisphere versus the northern. Much love. Stay aware and prepared. Stay young and have fun. And get your Morning Dew. Prayers for humanity. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.